Welcome to Not Just Books. The library is a monthly show about what is happening in your world and at the Williamson County Public Library. My name is Dolores Greenwald, Director of the library. We have a very special show and you will not want to miss a minute. Today we have a special segment called People You Should Know, in which I will introduce you to Donna Willoughby and Rhonda Miles. They will tell us about the Nikki Mitchell Foundation and their special projects. Do you like Lewis Carroll? Do you kiddos love Alice in Wonderland? Well, we'll be talking about a great children's program during our Save the Date segment with Stacy, Parish, and Katy, Searcy of our children's department. The library's Mad Hatter's Tea Party program is not to be missed, so save the date. Children's program puts on marvelous programs, and you'll certainly not want to miss this one. In our What's Hot with Books segments, once again we'll be talking with Katy, and she'll be here to discuss graphic novels and manga books. Last but not least, we have with us Emily Layton, Development and Community Relations Manager, and Shannon Nehus, Executive Director of Raves, in our Your World segment. They'll be talking with us about the great work Raves is doing and how you can get involved. So join us, sit back, relax, and have fun with the show. You don't want to miss a special episode. Welcome back. In our special People You Should Know segment, we have some special guests with us today. Donna Willoughby is a friend of mine, and I met her at a community event recently. She was telling me about this exciting program. So, Donna, tell us who you brought with you today.
Hi, Dolores. It's good to be here. I brought Rhonda Miles. She is the executive director of the Nikki Mitchell Foundation. Rhonda and I were introduced through a mutual friend here in Williamson County, and I've connected with them to do some press releases and some stuff in the news for them. So, Rhonda, why don't you tell Dolores a little bit more about Nikki Mitchell?
Hi, Rhonda.
Hi, Dolores. It's nice to meet you, and thank you for having me on. I run the Nikki Mitchell Foundation, and Nikki Mitchell was my best friend, and she managed Waylon Jennings' business for 22 years. She and I were adventure partners. You know, my husband allowed me to go all kinds of places with Nikki. We flew around the world together in a small single-engine airplane in 1998.
Oh, my gosh.
We did all kinds of things. And then she got pancreatic cancer. So we started the pancreatic cancer adventure, and I was her caregiver during that time. I was a corporate pilot while I was doing this. I had a wonderful boss that scheduled all my flying around her medical care. But when she passed away, we started the Nikki Mitchell Foundation. I retired from flying, and we raised funds for pancreatic cancer research and for our Bridge of Wings, which was the name of our flight around the world. Mm-hmm. It's our gas card program that helps pancreatic cancer patients get to their treatments, and it bridges Nikki's giving spirit with the road to the cure. So,
well, tell me a little bit about Nikki. How did y'all meet? How did you get to know her and be best friends?
She flew into the Lebanon airport. I was a flight instructor, and I came out of the hangar into the office with a 12-inch needle and an iron, and she was wondering what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I am not a domestic person, let me just say that, but I was repairing my airplane. I had a student it was a fabric-covered airplane, so I was stitching and ironing my airplane back to flight worthiness. And
so either you would run or be best friends, one of the two.
Exactly, exactly. And we were best friends, and we traveled well together and had the same kind of can-do attitude, and it just worked.
Now, you were talking briefly about the Bridge of Wings. Now, what prompted that adventure?
The flight around the world?
Yes.
Oh, when I met Nikki, she had purchased an airplane out of a barn, and it was not a pretty thing. And I started teaching her how to fly it. And we were flying one day. We'd been flying about a month, and she started talking about the Russian night witches. And I'd been in aviation all my life. My dad was a crop duster, and I'd never heard of the night witches.
I was going to say, what is that?
The night witches, like the Wasp from the World War II. The United States had Wasp that ferried aircraft. The night witches had it was Russians, female pilots, and they actually fought in World War II. They dropped bombs, and the Germans named them because they kept them up all night long dropping bombs, and they just called them the Night Witches. So she had studied all this stuff, and 3 of the Night Witches had done this record-breaking flight across,
That's
long
amazing.
distance across Russia, and she said, do you think we could retrace that flight in this airplane? And I said, yes, as the paint was flying off of it in the air. I mean, it was a piece of crap. Excuse me. But as we were flying along, and I said, yes, we can do that in this airplane. She goes, you want to do it? And I said, absolutely.
Oh,
and that's
how
as
fun.
much thought as went into that
Then you just did it.
decision. We just did it. 2 years later, we took off from the Lebanon airport, flew around the world through Russia, Siberia,
amazing.
across the North Atlantic.
Donna, how did you get involved with this?
Well, a mutual friend of ours was talking with Nikki, and Nikki said, Rhonda, and Rhonda said that she needed someone with some press expertise, and of course with my 30 years in the news media.
I was going to say, yeah,
she
that's a
volunteered
good
me.
fit.
So, yeah. And we all met for lunch one day, and we talked about some ideas on how to promote some upcoming activities that are going on, and everything just clicked. The 3 of us are working together to promote some upcoming activities. One is
at the Franklin Theater, June the 14th.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, it's at the Franklin Theater. It's June the 14th, and it's called Playing on the Tracks. And it's a musical memoir from Carter Robertson, who was Waylon Jennings' only female band member during the Outlaw days. And it is she wrote a book, and she does this on stage with, so Waylon's old band will be there.
Oh, that's cool.
Carter's Chord, and we'll have some extra special guests too.
And now when is this?
June the 14th.
Okay.
And it's going to be a lot of fun, and all the proceeds from that go to the Nikki Mitchell Foundation.
Well, excellent. Excellent. And when are tickets going to start? Are you selling tickets already? Or?
Not yet. The tickets will be on sale probably in about a month. But
Okay.
but yeah, it's going to be fun.
Well, let me know, and I'll help you
Sure.
guys promote it in our library's newsletter. And
Oh, that'd be
stuff.
great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and if people want to donate and know a little bit more about the foundation, how can they? What is your website? How can they find
It's
out more?
NikkiMitchellFoundation.org, and the website is, we're in the process of revamping our website, but it is still up, and if you'd like to donate, NikkiMitchellFoundation.org. If you know somebody that has pancreatic cancer and is having financially tough times, send an email to info@NikkiMitchellFoundation.org, and we'll work with them on the Bridge of Wings gas card program.
Well, and pancreatic cancer is just a horrible disease. I have experience in my family with someone with pancreatic cancer, and it's just, not only is it painful and debilitating, it's very expensive too. So
very
I'm so glad
expensive.
that you guys are doing
Yes,
this.
and it just surpassed the breast cancer. It is now the 3rd leading cause of cancer deaths in the United States.
Okay, folks, here we go.
So,
You
there
need
we
to
go.
donate and
You
help
need
out.
to donate.
No, just know that Nikki is spelled Nikki,
Okay.
Mitchell
Yes.
with
Okay.
2 L's,
All right.
Foundation.
We'll promote that. And thank you so much for coming today
Thank you.
and
Thank you for having me,
telling us
Dolores.
about your amazing friend. And it's wonderful that you have stepped into this realm and helping other people out.
Well, she would have done it for me, and if we don't step out of our comfort zone
Yes,
and do stuff
exactly.
to help people, we're not going to go anywhere.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
you.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. In our Your World segment today, we have some very special guests from Waves. We have Shannon Nehus, Executive Director, and we have Emily Layton, Development and Community Relations Manager. Welcome, and thank you so much for coming today. First, tell us a little bit about Waves.
Okay, well, I can start. I can do that. Waves serves children and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities here in Williamson County. Our mission is to empower those individuals to reach their full potential. And we do that through early learning with the children's program, and then we have several different services through the adult program.
Well, very good. And you just recently had a fundraiser.
Yes, we had our annual fundraising breakfast on March 1st of this year. We had record attendance for that event, so we're very appreciative of the community for coming out.
And you had a very special speaker. I love her.
We did. Brandy Blanton came out and shared her story with us of being a grandparent of a child in our early intervention program. So we really appreciate her sharing that story and what that impact had on her life, as well as her daughter's life, and about her grandchild, sharing more about that.
That's fabulous. And I know a lot of us I follow Brandy on Facebook, so I keep up with baby Elliot's progress as they go along. So that's very good. What show and tell did you bring today?
Well, we have an art show. It's called An Artist's Window. It's coming up June 17th. It's our 10th annual Artist's Window.
Oh, wow.
And it displays artwork from area artists with disabilities that are from across Tennessee. So Emily has a few of the art
It's beautiful colors.
That will be on display. Very similar art. Like, last year I think we had over 70 artists that came and displayed their art. This year we'll have the visual arts like we have for the last 10 years, but we also will have a performing arts component, which last year we added that. Erin Blunt is Waves Recreation Coordinator, and she has a background in dance and theater. And so she has brought that to Waves. And last year we had
Excellent.
5 performing artists. We had a poet, we had a dancer, we had 5 different groups. And so we're really looking forward to that this year as well.
Now, where is the art show held? Is it at your location?
No, it's at Rolling Hills on Columbia Avenue. And it's been there, I don't know if it hasn't been there the whole 10 years, but it's been there the last several years. And the art, some of the art is for sale at silent auction.
Now, how long has Waves been around? When did it start?
We've been around for over 40 years.
Wow.
And so we recently, just 3 years ago, we celebrated our 40th anniversary. We started in Fairview. It was a group of parents who had adult children with disabilities and decided that they needed services for their children. So they kind of rallied together and decided that they as a group were going to find programming to serve their children, and so therefore they ended up serving the entire county, all of Williamson County, and it grew from there to into Franklin and having 2-day programs, several residential homes, and also the early learning program.
People started with some big hearts, it sounds like. That's excellent. Shannon, tell us a little bit about what day-by-day assistance do you guys, does Waves give?
Well, I'll start with our recycling program because I wanted to be sure and talk about that a little bit, but this is one example of the support that we give that people may not think about. So we provide employment support to those who want to work, who may need transportation to work, that may need extra support. So we have an office recycling program that employs 2 people with disabilities. They have been employees of this program for over 10 years, and we have a staff support that keeps them, drives them to work, and does some details of the work and makes that successful. So that's some of the support that we give. But in our adult programs, we do community inclusion, so that through our daily supports, our Monday through Friday program, when maybe parents are at work, people that don't have jobs, that have disabilities, come to Waves for support to participate in community inclusion, walking club, wellness club, volunteer, with the hopes of employment for those individuals that want employment. But for those that don't want employment, we're there to integrate them into the community, to make sure that they give back to the community and they have a quality day.
It sounds like the goal is to help individuals become as independent as they possibly
It really
can.
is. It really is our goal. And we start that with the early intervention program, the early learning program, the children birth to 3. Those services are very different.
That's very crucial too.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And so, but those early services help those individuals become independent in their school years.
Well, how can, if someone wants to volunteer or contribute financially, how can they find out more information?
Absolutely. You can visit our website, wavesinc.com. There's lots of information about how to get involved, both
as a volunteer or as a donor. And you can also follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have all of those things going on. Those are really helpful to keep up with the different activities that we have, different fun events, both our fundraising events, but also just events that we host for the people that we serve, the absolutelywavesinc.com.
What kind of volunteer opportunities, what some of your volunteers do?
Sure.
Well, Emily's our volunteer coordinator, and so last year we had over 1,300 volunteer hours. So
Excellent.
yes, and so Emily
We
can
have
give some
such a giving
examples.
community
We do have
here.
such a giving
It's
community.
amazing.
So will you give a few examples?
Sure, absolutely. We do have 8 homes here in Williamson County throughout the community, and so we all know as homeowners there's always something that needs to be done around the house. So we do a lot of yard work, painting, upkeep for our homes.
Well, very good. And thank you both for coming
Thank you for
today.
having
We
us,
appreciate you
Dolores.
joining with us and talking about Waves. It's an exciting organization. Thank you so much. We'll be right back. Welcome back. In our Save the Date segment today, we have 2 very special guests with us that work in our children's department, Stacy Parish and Katy Searcy. And this just goes to show you how much fun our children's staff has with their programs. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for coming. And you are?
I'm Alice.
You are?
The Red Queen.
So what does that mean? We're having a...
Mad Hatter Tea Party.
Yeah. So tell us about the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, Queen.
Well, it's going to be a great amount of fun. We hope everybody will come out for it. It's scheduled for Saturday, April the 9th, from 3 to 4:30 in our wonderful facility. I'll go ask Alice. I think she'll know. I'll let her take the rest of it.
Okay, Alice, go ahead.
Well, we're going to have crafts and lots of little games, and of course, tea. And I think we've got an obstacle course planned, so lots of fun.
Well, do people have to register for the party, or can they just show up?
No, they can just show up, and
Okay.
of course, costumes are welcome. We will all be
And
dressed
encouraged.
And encouraged, obviously. So, tell us about why, and we'll start with you, Queen. Why do you think Lewis Carroll is still so popular?
There's just something about him. His works have such an enduring, timeless quality that has, in my opinion, not been paralleled. You open it and you immediately fall into the story. It's just a delight, and one of those, you hear about books being impossible to put down. For me, that's him. That's him in a nutshell.
Alice, you think that's part of it?
I do. There's really nothing like it. And most books today are kind of, they're just, I don't know, there's just something about it.
Well, and tell us again the date of the event.
Saturday, April 9th
Okay.
at 3 to 4:30.
3 to 4:30. Some of the other programs that we've done on Saturdays have been what? Operas?
We had a lovely visit from the Nashville Opera earlier this spring. We always do our Legos at the library on the first Saturday of every month from 3 to 4:30.
The Queen is also involved in that.
We also do youth chess and games day on the third Saturday of every month. We have a wonderful chess mentor, Mr. Jason, who instructs everybody, and it's open to all skill levels from ages 5 to 12 or so.
And you do some of the story times, Alice.
I do the baby lap sit story time on Fridays. We have a lot of fun.
And you also pick out books. You do more than just programs. So it's a very active children's department. And what's the website that we can go to find out more?
WCPLTN.org. And then just go to our kids page, or you could just go to the calendar that's on the top right-hand corner of the screen and see all of the events that are going on in the library.
I think children's literacy is probably the most important thing that public libraries do. And you guys in the Children's Department and the people in our branches just do a marvelous job with instilling the love of reading.
Absolutely.
We have, we also have every year our summer reading program. You guys will probably be back and talk a little bit more about that. But it's very crucial and very important, I think. So is Alice in Wonderland your favorite Lewis Carroll book? Or?
Absolutely. Oh, yes.
And you?
Sure.
Okay.
How can I say no?
How can you say no? Thank you very much. And we'll be right back. Hello and welcome back. In our What's Hot in Books segments, I am pleased to have with us Katy Searcy from our Children's Department. And she is here with us quite a bit talking about what goes on in the library. And if you saw her in our earlier segment, she was talking about our Alice Mad Hatter's Tea Party. So, but here we're going to talk about books.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about manga.
Well, manga is a Japanese comic, and I've got an example here, and they're read right to left, so you open the book like this, and then you read it panel to panel like that, and the cartoon styles are a little bit different than any American style comics. The characters usually have really big expressions, big features, and everything is very exaggerated and colorful.
So the illustrations are totally different than
They
what
are.
we would think of in American graphic novels.
They are, but they're a lot more popular here than they used to be. So the styles are a little bit more common.
What do you think is making them catch on? What do you think is making them popular?
Well, I think what draws kids to them the most is the pictures. The pictures are usually bright and they're really well done. But I think that they're also a lot easier to read. They're an easier reading experience, but they're not. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're easier than a regular book. They just read them differently.
Mm-hmm. I think it would be hard getting used to the layout with reading the left to right. But that's very interesting. Now, they're series mostly,
Yes.
aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are some of the popular series?
Well, I have Happy Happy Clover with me today, and that's checked out pretty well since we got it in the library. Pokemon is one of the most popular.
Pokemon's still
yes.
popular?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I thought he went away, but he's still around. Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
So, what's the age group for these books?
Really all ages. You have Happy Happy Clover is probably for younger kids, probably grades 1 through 3, and then they go up like normal books do in the interest, and then there are also adult manga. There's manga for adults too. So
now, and how long for people that might not know, how long do the books check out for?
3 weeks.
3 weeks, and you need to have a library card in order to check them out.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about graphic novels. You brought some examples of that today.
I've got one of my favorite graphic novels with me today. It's called Roller Girl. And this one I'd probably recommend it for the grades 4 through 6 range. It's a super cute story about a girl who starts doing roller derby, and she's not very good at it. But she sticks with it, and she loves it, and it helps her through life, and it's a great little story.
So it's a learning lesson for her.
Yes.
So now the illustrations in it, let's take a look at one of the illustrations and see how different it looks.
Well, let's see if I can find a good one. Okay, you can see it's colorful, and there's not as much text, and yeah.
If a child is not a heavy reader, as I call them, not you doesn't really like reading,
Mm-hmm.
that layout is less intimidating for them.
It is.
I would
It's a
think.
lot less intimidating.
Well, very good. What else did you bring with you?
I've got an example of a comic because there's a difference. I've got Guardians of the Galaxy with me today, which most people are
very
probably
popular.
familiar with. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, and tell us a little bit of difference between the comic book and the graphic novel, for example.
Well, comics are a periodical, kind of like a magazine, so you can subscribe to them on a monthly basis, or however often they come out with them, and so you get them monthly, and that's basically the difference. The story follows monthly. But now a lot of times they come out with big, thick volumes, kind of like The Walking Dead. I think is the one that most people are more familiar with. So it reads more like a graphic novel, which is a story. It's the story doesn't carry over month to month.
Now, and also you brought a graphic novel, but now there's also, because we're talking about that in our library, there's also graphic nonfiction. So tell us a little bit about that too.
Well, the graphic nonfiction, there's one that's that we just got called Wild Ocean. That's about endangered animals in the ocean, and so it goes through and kind of tells a little bit about the endangered animals through a graphic novel format. It's really neat. I really like it.
There was one too where a comic book writer, a family member, I think it maybe his mother had cancer, and he talks about going through that with his family, but he tells it in a way he's familiar with, which I think is very interesting.
Yeah.
I think, and I think maybe as more graphic novels and manga gets popular, they'll do more of that.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. What are some of the other graphic novels that we have?
Let's see. We have Smile and Sisters by Raina Telgemeier. Those are extremely popular. We can't keep them on the shelves. And then let's see, what else is popular? The Amulet series. Can't keep that on the shelves. And I'm trying to think about teens. Naruto is still pretty popular for teens. As well as, let's see, I know One Piece is still popular in teens.
Well, no, she was talking about the flying off the shelf because they are very popular. And we also have some at the branches too at our other locations. So if something comes, if you're wanting to check out Roller Girl, for example, and it's not here, in the library you can check it out you can put a hold on it and check it out later. So don't get too discouraged if something comes in and it's not, and it's not there. You can get it. Now we have Marvel, but we also have DC Comics.
Oh, yes.
And all of that. We have quite a bit of collection.
All
and
kinds of
we're
superhero
also adding
comics.
to it as well on a regular basis. And if somebody wants to find out more about exactly what we have, they can go to our website, which is
wcpltn.org.
and they can search for graphic novels or the comics and look and see what's in and come and visit us and get it.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Katy, for joining
thank you for
us
having
today.
me.
And we'll be right back. Welcome back to Not Just Books. Thank you so much for joining us today. Exciting things are happening here in Williamson County, and the library is excited to play a part. I'd like to thank our special guests for being with us today. Katy Searcy and Stacy Parish of the Library Children's Department, Donna O'Neill Willoughby and Rhonda Miles of the Nikki Mitchell Foundation, Shannon Nehus and Emily Layton of Waves. If you have any comments or suggestions for future programs, please contact me. The email address is notjustbooks@williamson-tn.org. You can also leave comments at the library's website, wcpltn.org. Also, don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And until next time, explore your world and read.